All right, in this video, we're going to review how to create an EA or an expert advisor. Unlike the free indicator video, in the free indicator that we created in one of the previous videos, this is not free to create if you're using the web platform. So what's happening here on the chart is there is a parameter that was placed inside the program. We compile the program, and when that condition is met, it will buy or sell based on that parameter. Okay, as you can see, the trading program just entered into a buy actually, even though it looks as if the market is going down. The program entered into a buy. It just entered into another buy. The take profit is at these two levels. There's two separate take profits, one for each trade, and then you have these stop losses down here, and it looks like it's about to take profit. So it just took profit on both of those trades. Profit was about 130 pips on one and about 120 or 130 pips on the other. Okay, so our program or our expert advisor just entered into another buy trade here. This is the take profit, this is the stop loss. And as you can see, it is very, very close. Okay, it just took profit at about 136 pips. So that is the way an expert advisor works. Now let's get into how to create an expert advisor. Okay, this information is from our previous video. This is the free indicator that we created. Now, if you want to upgrade and create an actual strategy, then you would need to go through the steps in order to upgrade your account so that you can actually create a strategy. So what we'll do here is we will go to new, and this is example MA cross. So we would use the same, want to use the same parameters as we did for the indicator, but this time we're going to go to strategy. The name, we will name it example MA cross robot. Robot will trade when the 20 crosses the 50 EMA and create. Once again, we have our blank shell and we need to simply add the conditions identical to what we did in the previous video with the indicator. So we go to add conditions, moving average, the 20, EMA or exponential moving average crosses above the moving average, the 50, exponential moving average. Okay, so this condition is telling the system when to open a buy order. Okay, so this is the section for the buy, or whenever we want the market or the robot to, whenever we want the robot or the program to purchase or buy or enter a buy trade. So when the 20 period EMA crosses above the 50 period EMA, we want the system to buy. Now, we also need to set or define our stop loss and take profit. To do this, we will click on stop loss, and we can leave it at, let's just say 50 pips. Okay. And our take profit, let's say 300 pips. Or let's say 350. So now, after we open our buy order, after the 20 period moving average crosses above the 50 period moving average, we want the system to enter a buy trade. We want the stop loss or the trade to actually close out the position if it goes 50 pips against us, and we want to take profit when it goes 350 pips in our favor. One of these two conditions has to be met at some point. Either the trade will be stopped out, or the trade will hit our take profit. Now for the sell order, which is the opposite of the buy order, we want the system to enter a sell order when the opposite of this takes place. And again, we have our create the opposite order button here. So when the 20 period moving average crosses below the 50 period moving average, we want to sell. And again, it will stop us out if we are at a loss of 50 pips, and it will take profit if we are at least 350 pips or at 350 pips. Okay. They do have additional functions here. They have a lot of additional functions here. For example, close trade, you can actually create a position for so let's say that we enter a buy order, or the system executes this buy order. We can actually close the buy order when a certain condition hit. Okay. So close long position. So for example, we can close, and I think in our example, we close our buy order when the candlestick, the closed candlestick closed is below, or did we do cross below? I believe we did cross below the moving average, and it was the 50 period moving average, and it was the exponential moving average. So this says, we can go back to our chart here, and this is still running. As you can see, it's buy order here. That was profitable. That was profitable. There's another profitable trade, and then this will also be a profitable trade. Okay, so let's go back to our chart in the example. And this is what we're automating. We would enter here, and we would exit the trade when the candlestick closes below or crosses below the, make sure that's the 50 period moving average. Yes, the 50 period moving average. Okay. So this will tell the system to close a trade once the candlestick crosses below the 50 period moving average. Okay. Now, if these conditions are met first, this program will close out the trade. So for example, we're saying close the trade after the candlestick crosses below the 50 period moving average. Well, if that doesn't happen and the stop loss is hit, it'll close out the trade. If that doesn't happen and the take profit is there, it will close out the trade. So what we want to capture here, let's go back over here. This is what we want to capture. This is the 50 period moving average. This is the 20 period moving average. In this example, or on this chart, the 20 period moving average crosses above the 50. Okay, it crosses above the 50. That is our parameter here. The 20 crosses above the 50. Our trading program will initiate a buy order somewhere around here, at this level right here. Our trading program, if we have the take profit set, it will exit the trade here, right here, giving us 350 pips. If we have the stop loss triggered, if the price goes 50 pips against us down to this level, 50 pips against us, it will exit the trade. But what we want to do, since we want to delete this, we're going to delete this. Okay. And the reason why we're deleting this is because this is the way we want the program to work. When the cross happens and the buy is executed, we want to hold the trade all the way until the candlestick closes below the 50-period moving average. Also, what we need to watch is we have it to where the candlestick crosses, this candlestick crosses below the moving average here. So we need to make sure it's set to actually close above. So let's go back over to our program. Close trade, candlestick 1 close is below the moving average, the 50-period moving average. So we want the close of the candlestick. We want the close of the candlestick to be below the 50-period moving average. We don't want it just to cross over and go back up and close. We want the actual close of the candlestick to be below the 50-period moving average. So let's go back over here. And again, we're going to create the opposite order for a short position or a sell position. Okay, so we can also do a trailing stop, but here under the management section, we do not want to place multiple trades on the same candle. So we want to do next open trade after 1 bar. Okay, because what will happen is you can get into a situation when price is moving. This candle moves up and down, up and down. These candles, it doesn't just start here and go straight up and close. It moves up, may go down, move up. Well, when that happens, this moving average also moves down, up, down, up. So if you don't set this to open up the next trade after 1 bar, what you could potentially end up with is a bunch of different trades, all buy orders, all up and through this level or all up and through this level. So it can open up 4 or 5 different trades if price keeps rejecting and bouncing up. So you always want to make sure that you select next open trade. All right. The other conditions, they have a money management condition, fixed size. We want to trade, let's just keep it at 0.1 or $1 per pip. They also have a martingale and an anti-martingale strategy. So basically, if you select this, you can start at $1. If you're profitable, you can increase your, let's just take this off. If you're profitable, you can start here, and this says restart after profit, so let's remove that. You can start at $1 per trade, and if the trade is profitable, you can increase the lot size times 2. Okay. So we're not going to do that. We'll just do fixed size. So we'll just keep it at $1 per pip. Alerts, you can set it to send you alerts. And then inputs, you can define inputs. So an input would be, we really won't get into it, but if you wanted to, let's just say you wanted to set a take profit on this, and instead of doing 100 pips, you would check this box to add an input. And the input could be take profit points, 100 pips. Click OK. Now what that does is that places the value of 100 inside of a, it takes the value, the numeral value, and places it inside of a variable. So now this, instead of being 100, this is just take profit points. And if you want to edit the points, you would have to edit the value that's associated with take profits. Okay. So we don't want to do that, so we'll just delete that and go over here, and we would delete that. So at this point, this is a very, very simple program, and we're ready to input the program into MT4. So we go to source, we want to copy here, and that's just, when we click the copy button, it only highlights the code for us. We want to press Control C, as it tells us here. Go over to our MT4, and bring back up our panel. Easiest way is to right click, create a meta editor. We want to select or create an expert advisor. Click next. Now we name it. We want to keep the name the same. So what was the name? Example, MA Cross Robot. Example, EA cross robot. Next, next, finish. Now here's our shell. Remember, everything in here needs to be deleted, so we can right click, select all, or we can just press Control A and then hit delete. We have a blank slate, and now we do Control V or paste to paste the code, and then we simply compile the code or bring everything together so it'll save for us. It is automatically saved into our MT4 platform, but we would need to go over and refresh so we can see it. And this is the EA Cross robot that we just created. Now let's move the EA into the strategy tester. So first we bring up the strategy tester, and we're going to select our expert advisor. We ensure that the visual mode is selected, and we're going to select October the 9th, because this is when the first signal took place on our indicator that we created. So we're going to select October the 9th, going to select through. This is when we want it to close. We definitely want the 22nd there. And we want to try to grab these. So we'll select the 29th as the end date. We can stick with the 30th. Right. So we hit start. And while that's running, we'll change the template real quick. Load template. Remove this and remove this. Okay, so there's the buy signal. And this is on an hourly chart. This is GBP USD. So that's the buy signal, which also has our indicator on it. So that is matching up perfectly. This is the 20 period moving average, and it crossed the 50, so that's why I bought here. So now for the sell, for the close, the candlestick has to close below this level, not just cross as it did here. It has to close below the 50 period EMA. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is day 5. I think it takes place day 6. I think it was here on the 19th, day 7, when it closed. Maybe it wasn't day 7, maybe it was day 8. Okay, there's the close. All right. Took the sell order here. Closed out here. That was a loss. Took a buy order here. It closed out here at a loss. Took a sell order here. Looks like it closed out there. Okay, this is a buy order. All right, and that is the end of the program, or the end of the strategy test. So let's bring that back up and look at the results. This is the profit from the first trade, 634. Then you see the small losses here. Now when you see close at stop, that just means there were 2 open trades. First open trade, second open trade. And when the program ended, whatever the price was when the program ended, that is the profit that it gives. It just closes the trade out immediately when it ends. So let's look at the graph. Profit goes up and it gradually creeps down, but it's still at a positive level. If we go to reports, we see that the total net profit was $5.19. Then the drawdown was $17, and it took 11 trades. Now profit trades, 2 profitable trades and it lost 9 trades, but it was still profitable because the one profitable trade was very large. Now let's take a look at a test from January 1st, 2019 to 10/30/2019. For this test, I removed the visual mode so I can only get the data. When you remove the visual mode, the strategy tester runs much quicker. So I set the date from January 1st, 2019 to 10/30/2019. And let's look at the report. The total net profit is $613. Absolute drawdown is $391. And as you can see, there were 25 profitable trades and 77 losing trades. Again, this is only an example, so please don't try to implement this expert advisor and trade this for real.